All right, Aspire Leaders, welcome back. This is the fourth bonus episode recorded live at the NCMLE conference, and I'm so excited to bring these conversations to you as we had so many amazing folks at this conference. So in addition to speaking to my co-author and co-presenter, Charlie Peck, I had the privilege of sitting down with two brilliant educational leaders. We've got a local author and speaker, Gretchen Bridgers, and my good friend who's been on this podcast before, Vernon Wright. And we're going to be on the conference floor talking about what they're presenting on, about their projects, and of course, their experience here at the wonderful NCMLE conference. So before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that these bonus episodes are brought to you by New Horizons. New Horizons offers professional development and training solutions designed to help educators and leaders grow their skills and stay ahead of an ever-changing world of education. So I want you to head over to newhorizonsglobal.net to learn more about the speakers and how they can support you and your educational team. So right now, we're going to jump into an incredible conversation recorded at NCMLE with Charlie Peck, as we're going to be talking about our co-presentation, the language of behavior. But then also Charlie did her own presentation that I'm super excited to talk about. And we are going to tease out something that we're working with together. And so let's dive into that conversation. Welcome to Aspire to Lead, where we empower educators and school leaders to grow, inspire, and thrive. I'm your host, Joshua Stamper, author, speaker, and leadership coach, bringing you conversations that spark transformation, challenge the status quo in education, and equip you to make a lasting impact on your campus or in your district. For more information and resources, visit joshstamper.com as we're looking to ascend to new leadership heights together. All right, Charlie, thank you so much for being with me. And well, I should thank you also for presenting the language of behavior.
Yes, what a great time we had together. I love when we can do that.
I know. And we got some time to sit down, have lunch, plan out what we're about to work on for the upcoming year, which I was kind of teasing out in the intro. But before we kind of tease more about that, I would love for you just to share about not only our joint session, but maybe start with the individual session that you did.
Yeah, a really popular session I have right now is anxiety and avoidance, and tools and solutions that you can immediately use to start addressing this because it's so prevalent. I mean, anxiety is what I treat as a clinician often, but also when we do training and keynotes, anxiety and avoidance especially comes up. So I am just grateful that I could do that. It was pretty good for the crowd. I think they took some things away.
Yeah, you had a bunch of folks in that session. I got to jump in, take some photos, and see you in action, and they were very engaged. Of course, we also in the morning did our own session on our book, The Language of Behavior. So we just share about what we do when we get a wonderful opportunity to be together in person and train on this.
Yeah, you know what? People need to have like a system idea, because we have tools and strategies that can work for the individual. You and I always do that, right? We go back to the individual who's leading the space, which is important. But I love what we do with this, because not only do we talk about, well, what are the underlying problems with behavior? How do we interpret that? And then how do we respond more effectively? Because we want to prevent, we also know that things come up and escalate. We give them the tools for all of those things. And we use the 3 tenets. So that's what I was excited to do, is to introduce the 3 tenets to the audience.
Yeah, they were very hungry. And I know we got a lot of conversations afterwards. We had a lot of folks filling out our forms saying like, I want more resources. So that was awesome. We also got a wonderful opportunity to do a book signing there and got to meet a lot of amazing North Carolina educators as they were super excited and passionate. And it was really, really fun to see everyone.
It was. And I have my NCMLE t-shirt on from last year. I accidentally put that on today once I went for my walk. Yeah, I didn't even know.
Did you see what's behind me? I got what David James provided as far as being a featured speaker. And that was a fun gift that they provide to all of us. So awesome. Well, let's talk about this event as a whole, Charlie, because this is not your first time in North Carolina or with NCMLE. So I'd like to ask all of the folks and the speakers, how many years have you been a part of it, and why do you keep coming back?
4 years. And I don't always go back to the same conferences over and over, but I can tell you this, as soon as the date comes out, it is on my calendar for the next year. It is such a well-led, well-promoted, David James does an incredible job along with the entire team. It's hard to really get someone who's so organized, but more importantly, so invested in their speakers and the way they are welcoming to us and what they do to support us along the way is truly, truly a level up. I mean, you don't always get to have that. So I am just so grateful to be a part of it. It is the one that I make sure I get to every year. I mean, there's a lot of great conferences out there, but this is one you guys have to look into. And it's not just North Carolina educators, it's everybody across the US. Everybody's welcome.
All right. I've been dying to ask you this. How does it feel to be a part of the New Horizons takeover that occurred at NCMLE and having your giant face on a banner?
I know, it's funny. It was on the banner right there. It was really neat. New Horizons is awesome. Like, it's just so nice to be a part of that team and that we have this booth, and Brad Wade is an excellent leader and champion of all of us. And what I love about it is he's really great about pinpointing what our area of expertise is, or at least our area of passion that we can speak on, because we all have different lenses to use. So I love that that's highlighted, because that is truly what's important. We can all support each other. It's like a family. I love it.
It really is. Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, it was so much fun. And we had seen everyone, a year ago or so out in Florida. And it was so much fun. And then to have everyone back together in North Carolina was awesome. And, folks like Ronell, we weren't expecting him to be there, and for him to surprise us and show up was so much fun. Darren, Frederick, I hadn't met Frederick in person before. I mean, all of these folks are a part of this bonus episodes. And so I love highlighting their work. Julie, Darren, they're all great, amazing people, in addition to having such fantastic content that they provide too.
Yeah. That Voice Collective, it's something that's new that we've been doing. Last October, we were there. It's something we get to look forward to, and it helps bring us together and not only keep us together as kind of a team, but also to level up our work. I mean, we always are learning and always try to captivate the audience and give them what they need. That's what I also love about New Horizons. It's great.
And I got to hang out with a really cool Charlie Peck. So I'm not going to lie, that was pretty awesome. So Charlie, do you want to tease out anything that we potentially will be doing in the future?
Yeah, you know what? We're working on some things. So we're taking these elements of the work that we're doing so that we can scale it and give a transformative solutions for systems. Yep. And that's what's interesting is organizations have been coming to us in education for sure, but nonprofits and healthcare organizations and other corporate entities that are like, I have people, I have staff, and we'd like to equip them to make this system even stronger. We're looking at the mental health problems. We're looking at capacity issues, and we have a solution that's going to truly transform the whole system, which I'm excited about.
For sure. Well, it was so good to see you in person, and it's always a joy to be in your presence. I can't wait for the next time. Hopefully in this upcoming month, I know we're closing things down with a district in person. And so hopefully we can share that out on social media, us together once again. But I can't wait again for NCMLE next year, as I'm excited about, the crew getting back together. And thank you so much, Charlie, for joining me, not only as a co-presenter, but then also being on the podcast to share out about this wonderful event.
My pleasure. And thank you too, truly.
All right, Aspire Leaders, thank you so much. Again, we have a bonus episode here, and I have the wonderful Gretchen Bridgers, as she is a local resident here in North Carolina and doing phenomenal work. We just got an opportunity to meet each other, and so I wanted to bring her in and talk about her presentation. She's got a book, so we'll talk about that, and of course, her experience here at this wonderful conference. So with that, Gretchen, thank you so much for being on Aspire to Lead.
Thank you. I think this is really fun avenue to connect educators.
Yes.
Talk about what lights us up and help each other out. So I appreciate you saying, come on.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to get all these folks here. I love having the speakers on. And so let's talk about that. You've been presenting. And so when you present at conferences, what is it that you love talking about?
Instruction.
Oh, let's do it.
I know it doesn't sound all that exciting, but we think we're doing things and maybe we're not doing it consistently or as thoroughly as we should. So I call them the essentials.
Okay.
Lesson design, classroom management, student engagement, student ownership.
Sure.
And so when we can start at that bottom brick, get that all solidified, we can move on to the next and to the next. And that's when you see the momentum.
Sure.
Your capacity grows, and then obviously student data rises. Yeah. But it's all about creating habits for students. I don't want you to be a great learner in my room. I want you to be a great learner in the world, in someone else's classroom. So putting structures in place to build those habits is really helpful.
Yeah.
So that's what I talk about over and over again.
That's awesome. So here at the conference, I think someone else was talking about this, is they give us an opportunity to do book signing. So you go over and people come up and we get to sign books. And so let's talk about yours. You obviously, I saw you over there and you have your book. So what is the title of your book and why should folks grab it as a resource?
So my brand is called Always a Lesson.
Okay.
Because whether you're teaching one or you're learning one, there's always a lesson. And we built off that with the Teacher Essentials for classroom and career success. So I wrote out my whole rationale of like, where did this come from my coaching work, from teaching my own classroom, now consulting, to the formula I found, the teacher success path, which was those 4 I said in that order. And then I give you stories. I give you places to plan and think about what this looks like. I give you rubrics. I mean, I basically give you everything to be successful. If you're willing to just sit and process and plan, you are good to go. And you hop in where it makes sense. You don't have to start at the bottom if you know your design is great. Hop in where you think you need some support and personalize it to fit your personality, your own passion. And off we go.
Awesome. So I'm guessing because of the business and the work that you do, you provide services. So do you have a website that I can have my listeners go to?
Alwaysalesson.com. You can find all the things, social, find the blog. I have a podcast, Empowering Educators Podcast, downloadables. I mean, all the things. It's my hub. It's my online house.
So as far as, let's dive into the podcast real quick. So, I love podcasts, obviously.
Me too.
PD in your pocket. So if someone's looking for some additional PD, what is your podcast all about?
The Empowering Educators Podcast covers all topics related to classroom and leadership. And what's great about it is you can see all the topics, pick the one you like. It transcribes it now for you so you can move through like it's a blog. It even has chapters set up automatically now, so you can hop around the episode. The whole thing I ask, though, is whatever you listen to, you try and implement it, because we get in this bad habit of like learning, and we don't change anything. And what's the point? So I hope you find whatever one thing from this conference or a podcast or whatever, and you do something with it.
Very cool. And that's what we try to do here on Aspire to Lead. We always have an actionable item with any guest. And maybe, Gretchen, I can have you on for a longer episode so we can talk more about the instruction. Because as you're talking, I'm like, I have so many more questions. But we're going to make this a short little bonus episode. So maybe we can have you on later to talk more about that. But real quick, as far as your involvement with this amazing conference, you've been here now. This is your second year. So the theme I'm getting from all of these speakers is that people keep coming back. So why is it that you keep coming back to North Carolina specifically for this conference?
Well, the venue's great. David James puts on an amazing conference. It's the connection. You meet people who are passionate about education, but they come with new ideas. And you're like, ooh, and it gets you excited again. You go back and you see the impact in your classroom. And then you're like, I've got to make sure I make it again. And us presenters, like, I want in too. It's not just about us sharing our stuff. I want to go to the sessions and meet the people.
Yeah, and there's some phenomenal people here coming all over. I'm just amazed. I keep saying this, like people are literally flying from all over.
Yeah, I'm like the only local, I think.
So it's great to meet these awesome educators here in North Carolina, and it's been such an honor to get to know you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Your work, and I'm excited about just the future conversations that we'll have. So we'll have you back on, and I'll make sure the website and her social media is in the show notes for you to connect and learn more on your instruction. And so, it's been such a great time to
meet
you,
so
Gretchen.
much.
Thank you so much for being
Hello,
on.
everyone out there.
We'll talk soon. All right, y'all. I got a familiar face here because you've seen my friends back in person. We have connected, Mr. Vernon, a couple times in person. We used to have coffee together when I got to live in the DFW area. I miss my folks. So it's great to see a familiar face, someone that I truly admire as a leader, someone who's doing phenomenal work. So first off, thank you so much for joining me again on Aspire to Lead.
Folks, if you are not connected to this guy right now, whatever you got to do it right now. Man, brother, it is always good to be here in the thought space. How many of y'all know that being in the right thought spaces is everything? And so such an honor.
Thank you.
Brother, love the work that you're doing. If y'all don't have a book, buy 30 copies.
You're kind.
Access everything that this guy's got. But in all seriousness, listen, folks. We're here, we're together, we're in the thought space. It's all about coming together and finding out how we can help each other come together, be better, and reach more people and change humanity. I believe somebody said the word is synergy.
Yeah, totally.
All right, folks.
Synergy is happening right now. And so, man, I got here And right away, the first person I saw was this guy. And talk about having a smile on my face for the whole 3 days that we've been here together. It started off because of seeing great people, the right leader himself. So when you were presenting during this conference, I would love for you just to share out what your presentations were all about.
Real quick, real simple, folks. It's about the Wonder Twins, right? How many of y'all know? Am I showing my age? I think I am.
You might be a little bit.
I think I'm showing my age. Y'all might have to Google that one to find out what the Wonder Twins are. But they always used to say, boom, put their fists together and say, Wonder Twin powers, activate, form the shape of.
Right.
And so what I share with folks in the session about the Wonder Twins are the two things that can elevate their leadership. What are the two things, Vernon? One is influence, having a voice in someone's life. The second thing is massive action, because as a t-shirt of mine says at home, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I have another t-shirt that says, nothing works unless you do and I do. So we have to take action. And if we'll take those two things, we can change humanity.
Very cool. All right. So as far as the work that you're doing, because I know you're doing so much, buddy, I would love for you just to talk about how you're supporting educators, how you're supporting leaders.
Right. So really what we're doing now is taking the work and the foundation within the education space, the right leader across all socials, particularly X, Instagram, or the gram, IG as the young folks call it.
IG.
And of course also to LinkedIn. Of course, being on different podcasts, like my guy right here. Again, connect, buy 30 copies of the books. Bulk order, let's make it happen. And then obviously taking that work within the education space. And now one of the things that I'm working on that is so very exciting is we're working a lot with collegiate athletes at my undergraduate university. Shout out to Texas Wesleyan University. And so what we've been able to do is bring in people from the community and also some NFL veterans along with our collegiate athletes and come together and build a mentoring program, emphasizing and using some of the same proven strategies we've been talking about here today in the different sessions, and to propel them for success in life.
All right. So is this your first time here at the conference in
First
North Carolina?
time here in North Carolina, folks. Texas is here in North Carolina.
Representing. We had Josh Tovar. We had you.
Yes,
obviously, I'm residing in Colorado, but obviously my time
Well, you're
as
always
I had to bring
DFW, sir. Always.
I had to bring some Texas flavor myself. I loved having you here, but I wanted you to talk about the conference. So as far as it being your first time, what were your thoughts being in this space?
Let me tell you something, folks. This conference right here, all of the speakers could be keynote speakers anywhere, folks.
Sure.
And I'm telling you, for those of you who are video game fans, I call it the all Madden team. It's really what this is. It's just such a phenomenal opportunity. So it's someone who is so grateful and so privileged to have had an opportunity to share with different folks here at this conference right here. For me, I say this, my heart is full, folks. It is full because I have been able to sit and listen and learn from so many different individuals. I will go ahead and ask you, as I asked in my session, what is the biggest flex in life? Folks answered different ways.
Sure.
But the biggest flex in life, I dare say, shout out to Dr. George Valenzuela, who coached me on this. The biggest flex in life is being coachable. Let's all be lifelong learners.
I love it. Well, my brother, it's been so good to see you in person. Again, it's been several years since we've connected.
Yes, sir.
But you obviously are bringing so much value every time you speak. I love the work that you're doing. Real quick, I, of course, will have things in the show notes for folks to click on to connect with you. But if you're directing anyone to bring you in to be a speaker or maybe you need coaching or whatever, right? How can they connect with you in that way?
Quickest, easiest way is go to therightleader.com.
Perfect.
You'll be able to connect with me on all the different socials there. If you would like to, you would prefer, you can connect with me in DMs on LinkedIn, X, and Instagram.
All right.
And folks, we're here to make you better.
Yes. Thank you again for being on Aspire
Thank
Lead.
you,
It's
brother.
always a pleasure. And you need to connect with the right
30
leader.
copies, folks. 30, bulk order.
Appreciate you.
This podcast is a proud member of the Teach Better Podcast Network. Better today, better tomorrow, and the podcast to get you there. Explore more podcasts at www.teachbetterpodcastnetwork.com. We'll see you on the next episode.